Welcome to Always Considered. I'm your host, Rebecca Quinlan.
And I'm your host, Julius Spicciani. Rebecca, can you tell me a little bit about the day?
The day I was out there was the 10th. It was a pretty glassy day. It was really, really fun. Felt like everybody was out there. It was a really good crew. It was a really fun day. Lots of long rights and lefts. It wasn't super windy, so, you could take any wave you wanted. It was a really fun day. Previous days, there's been a lot of wind and a lot of choppy, windy days that were like kind of mush. So it was kind of a little pleasant day, I felt like.
It was like one of the days before that, I couldn't even paddle to the outside.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was definitely a blessing.
It was.
It felt like a very nice day. And it was good weather. It wasn't too chilly out.
Pensacola has kind of been giving us a Christmas present. Can you tell me a little bit about your own history with surfing?
Yeah. So I started surfing when I was probably 10 or 11. I learned to surf on a shortboard that my aunt's husband got me, or he left it for me. And I just learned on a shortboard, and I just decided to get out there with my dad. And I met some friends through surfing, Josh and Taylor, and Hannah was my best friend. And so we would go around the East Coast, and we started competing, ESA contests, NSSA contests, Gnarly Charlie contests. We were going around. It was a really good time. I wasn't taking it super seriously because I was a kid, I was doing all right in the contest, but it wasn't anything I was really competitive at. And then I started softball, so my love for surfing kind of died out, and I stopped surfing around, I think, 7th or 8th grade when I was really kind of doing good. And I regret that, I do. But, I started softball, I ended up playing in college, and I got back into surfing last year, and I started longboarding for the first time. So this is really my first time longboarding, and I'm trying to get down to a smaller board again because, I'm a little bit bigger and I don't have those used muscles anymore, but it definitely I can have that muscle memory again from being a kid. But I've basically fell in love with surfing all over again. So it's a really fun feeling to have that love back because I'm not playing softball anymore, and it's kind of like my obsession. Anytime there's a wave, I'm trying to get out there, and I want to stay into it. Yeah.
A lot of people, when you tell them that you surf in Pensacola, they say, "Oh, is there surf in Pensacola?"
Yes.
And
oh my gosh,
I would say we don't have like good surf relative to probably like the East Coast or like Hawaii or something like that, or California.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like it is one of those things that, a lot of our friends, a lot of the people we surf with kind of get a little bit obsessed about. And what do you think, what's bringing people in? What's making people in a fairly mediocre surf town get obsessed with surfing?
I think that there's really not a lot to do around here. And we do have surf, especially around this time. This summertime is pretty miserably flat.
Yeah.
But, the winter and the spring, we have some pretty good swell, especially when you see those big days and people see pictures of it and they're like, that's Pensacola.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like some days it is pretty good, but a lot of the days, you're out there like, man, sometimes I wish I would live somewhere else, but there are some days that make it worth it, and I think the community too around here is pretty awesome.
Yep. 100%.
Enterlight and everything with Yancey and all his friends that still surf out here. It's crazy. Everybody knows each other. Sometimes the community is known for being kind of aggro sometimes, but I think a lot of the time everybody's really, I don't know, I think everybody's pretty friendly to each other, especially when you're being respectful, and you're being respectful to those who have priority, and they've been out there longer than you. You got to know your spot. You can't get out there and just be like, I'm going to catch every single wave and nobody else is going to catch a wave.
Yeah.
So as long as you have respect, everybody's going to get along out there. That's what I feel like.
I love that.
And I don't know, I think the community really brings people together, especially when you want to get out there and surf with your friends. Even if it's not a great day, you're going to run into somebody. So
yeah, I love that. That's very eloquently put. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of our mediocre surf fills me up and makes me happy.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't want to take it for granted because I have lived in a place with no surf and I miss Pensacola surf, which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy, absurd to say, but it's like it's not horrible. There's some good days, there's some really fun days. So I think you just got to be patient.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have a favorite surf memory?
That's a good question. I always think back to this one day when I was a kid. My best friend Hannah and I were surfing in Navarre, and this older lady, this is the first time I met her, and her name is Brenda Stokes. She was out surfing on a longboard, and it was just the three of us and maybe Hannah's mom as well. And it was the glassiest day I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like beautiful, just beautiful waves, rights, lefts, whatever you wanted. And it was just the three of us out there catching every wave we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was some dolphins jumping over in the back, and we were just having such a good time. And it was such a girl group.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the guys that I surf with, but sometimes when it's just like the girl group, it feels so like happy and fun and less
Mm-hmm.
competitive, and like it was just such a wonderful day. I just remember that day thinking I think back to that day with really, really fond memories. That
Mm-hmm.
was one of my first time surfing in Navarre, actually.
There's been many times I've gone surfing and there are no women out there.
Hmm.
And I'm curious from your perspective, you kind of talked about it a little bit, the atmosphere change, but what is it like to be a woman in a mostly male space?
Right. Yeah. So surfing definitely is a male dominated sport for sure. When I paddle out, I feel like I have to produce the confidence myself to feel like I earn to be out there, and I earn to deserve a wave,
Mm-hmm.
and I can get a wave. And it's not anything anybody would intentionally do, but sometimes when there's a less experienced surfer out there or even a girl, sometimes the guys will take advantage, paddle around you, steal your waves,
Mm-hmm.
and you're kind of forced to back off. So it's definitely a different atmosphere from what I'm used to playing all girl sports, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also something that I've had to create a confidence, whether it's real or not,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just go with it. Like I feel like I'm a pretty confident person, and when I go out there, I kind of got to channel that,
Mm-hmm.
as long as I feel like I know what I'm doing, I know the rules and everything. And I'm like I said, I'm a chatterbox, so I go up and talk to everybody
Mm-hmm.
and people talk to me. So it's never anything too weird, but I
Mm-hmm.
also do feel more comfortable when there is a girl out there
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes I don't know what it is. Maybe boys don't have the part of their brain that has fear, but on like a
We do.
really big day, okay, well, on a really big day, some of my friends are like, "You got it. Like, let's just go. Let's do it. Like, you can do it." And I'm like, "Thank you for the confidence
Yeah.
boost, but I don't think I can do that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like double overhead." And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that." But, other than that, there's nothing really,
Mm-hmm.
you just got to kind of have a confidence to you and
Mm-hmm.
go out there. So
I love that.
I think that's what it is.
Even from when I started surfing, which was like 5 years ago, I feel like there's a lot more women in the lineup now.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely some that I see almost every time, or when I do see them, I recognize them because I know there's not a lot, but there is enough to know who they are and know that they can hold their own out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of girl shortboarders out there that know what they're doing and
Yep.
will surf circles around some of the guys. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh
Taylor
yeah.
Green.
Yeah. Among other ones too. Yeah.
Yes,
And we have a
among
lot of good
among many
longboarders
other
too.
ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Taylor
Yeah,
Green
there's
freaking
lots.
ribs.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. I love her. Thank you for watching Always Considered. I'm your host, Rebecca Quinlan. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, and I love you.